Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name is Tom Novak, and today we're going to do something completely different. Today we're going to do a tuna cactus, or it's called a prickly pear cactus, Opuntia, ellisiana. The pads are called Nopales. The fruit is called a tuna, which you can eat. It's hardy to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It needs full sun, full sun, and a fast draining soil mix. It's good for zones 7 to 10. In the winter, I keep it in the basement by the west window. And the most important thing, no water all winter long. Because when I first bought the pad, I gave it a little bit of water for the winter time, just around the edges of the pot. It rotted away like you wouldn't believe. So I learned my lesson. Now these are the babies. These are the pads that broke off when I brought them into the basement in November of 2019. And you can see the summer's growth on it. I got a nice new pad on it. There's the other one where I got rocks on the inside to hold it straight. And this is the pad, and these are the three little ones that are growing from this summer. Here's the other pad that broke off. And here are the two young ones from this summer. Now these pads were just put in perlite. I used perlite for this mix. And all I did is when they broke off, I made sure everything was dry before I put them in. I stuck them into the soil, put a couple of rocks around them like this, like I have right now, to hold them in place till the roots grew. And these were grown overwintered in a north window, so at least they got some sunlight, but not a lot. And then in the spring, I started to see the little pads starting to come up. So I knew the roots were starting to grow. So then when it got warmer out, I put them in full sun. And when it rained, they got water. If it was real super dry, I'd give them some water in the morning. And that's all I'd do. Now here's the mother plant. She's about 4 years old. So if I can lift her up and put her on the turntable, I will. She's kind of heavy, and she's 4 years old, but you can see the trunk that she's developing. To lift it is a Herculean task because this pot is heavy. There we go. Get my flag out of the way. But you can see the trunk developing on this. Here's like a sacrificial branch that I'm using so it'll thicken up the trunk. And you can see the pads growing on it. You can see how woody it's starting to get on the branches here. But it's a nice little cactus. You can see the trunk starting to form over here, the branching. And to do the clip and grow method, all I'm going to do is, come fall, I'm going to break these pads off. And I'll start some new pads, some new cactus. And then I'll just cut it where it joins the trunk with a sharp knife. Or maybe I'll just leave it for something different. But we'll see how it comes along. But it's got to be dry, and it's got to be in full sun when you do all this, because it helps the pads to dry and callus over. And then you just stick it in the soil over the winter time, no water at all, and she'll be happy. This has no water at all, none whatsoever. It's starting to get a little thick root, about as thick as the skewer starting to come out from the base, but I wish I could pick it up and show you, but it's too heavy. But who says you can't do a cactus? Why not? It's hardy. When it gets cold out, It got hit by a little frost. It still took it. It's a good little cactus to try out. Now, if you go in the mail and buy them, just one little pad in a little pot like I just showed you is like 25 bucks. So I got this. This one's about 4 years old, and you can see how much it grew. And I bought this, I think, when it was like 12, 13 bucks. So you know prices went up since then. But to get your own cactus out of it, I just cut the pads, stick them in November, in dry soil, fast draining, put it by a north window, let it sit through the winter time with no water. They grow. So, try it out. You got nothing to lose. Who says cactus can't be a bonsai tree? Container is just an old milk crate, and I got styrofoam in there to keep the soil from coming out. And on the bottom I put landscape fabric so it drains and to keep the bugs out. So it's pretty good. And I got my diatomaceous earth on the bottom here to keep any ants from going inside. And what I do is I put it on a big tier bench system where the bench is about as up to my chin, and that's the height it's at, so it gets full sun all day long from morning till evening. So she grows good, and I'll let you know how I start to fertilize it in the spring. I'll let you know what I use. So today's Saturday, big band night, dance night. Put on a nice waltz, dance with your wife or your loved one. Put on a hot pot of tea, relax and enjoy the evening. My name's Tom Novak, and thank you for coming to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. And don't be afraid to try out a cactus. You got nothing to lose, and it's easy to grow. Take care, everybody.